All right, good morning, everybody. So I'm going to show you two different things today. I'm going to show you how to do this little bowl with the kaleidoscope where you blend that together and add a border. And then I'm also going to show you if you're having trouble with the kaleidoscope getting those cut and put together, I'm also going to show you this style, which is just a different style of the same thing. The main difference is you can see on this one, the design shows on the back and the front, and this one it only shows on the front. It's also kind of a different little look to it. It doesn't have the same kaleidoscope. So to start off with, I'm going to show you how to do the kaleidoscope one, this one right here. So the first thing is you got to make your cane. So I've got a few examples of different kinds of canes. They don't have to be square canes or rectangles. They could be triangles too, because once you slice these off, you could start fitting those together and make it go around. And that one would actually end up looking more like this one, because see how it's got triangles? And that's how that one was built. So either way is totally fine. I'm going to demonstrate with this square one, but you can do all kinds of stuff. These are both actually, and this one too. These ones started off as really simple canes. So this one was just a checkerboard, and then I wrapped the white around it and I cut it. So I had some that was a little bit thinner, and I stuck them all together and squished it into the square, kind of similar to this one too. I just did like stripes of the white and the brown, and I put some of the really simple bullseye canes in the front. So for actually slicing it, you can use a really thin kitchen knife. Anything that is really thin and sharp will work good. I'm using this one, but you don't have to have this tool to be able to do it. So the main thing is you want to line it up really carefully from the top, because you want to try to get it even as you can every time. And you want to slice it through all the way down to the bottom. Now, sometimes it takes a little bit to get used to it, or, you know, it might squish a little bit, or it might have different thicknesses, and sometimes it takes a little practice. So, you know, just keep on trying until you get something that you like and that you get enough pieces. So once you've tried it a few times, I would practice on an extra piece a couple times first, just to make sure that you get one that's good. So once you have all your pieces sliced, which I already did slice a bunch of pieces, once you have your pieces sliced, you want to kind of organize them and figure out what kind of pattern you want to do, because depending on how you set these, you could end up with a pattern like this, where, you know, all the purples are in the middle and it kind of makes this other little square. If I organize it like this, that would also give a different, you know, more checkerboard kind of effect. So make sure you're checking, because the main thing is you don't want to accidentally have, you know, these three are matching and then this one's not. So just make sure that whichever way you go, that you're figuring it out. So the next step is to kind of stick these together. Now I'm working on top of this brown mat, but you're going to work on top of your tin foil. Now the tin foil doesn't really show up well on a video because it's too shiny. So I'm going to actually switch over to this wax paper, but either way is fine. You can do exactly the same thing with your tin foil. So I'm going to stick two of these next to each other, and I'm going to use this tool right here, and I'm just going to use the very edge, and I'm going to push the two edges together. Now at first it's going to look really funky, but you're just going to push all those two edges together, and then you got to push the little two edges on the sides together. And part of working on the tin foil or this is it helps you kind of move stuff around as you need it without having to pick up the pieces. So sometimes that helps them stick together. So once you have one kind of stuck together, then you're going to add on the next one, and you're going to keep going. So you do that for as far as you need it. So you would do it here, you would do it there. And then once you have these all stuck together, then you can take this piece of paper or your tin foil, since you're using tin foil, and flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So be careful not to mess up your design. And it is kind of handy to keep a little piece of paper towel next to you, just so you can wipe your fingers off so it doesn't get smudged if you get color stuck on there. But you would get those all stuck together in a row. And then each row, you would stick those together as well. So this one I already have stuck together on both sides, and you can see that I've blended in all of these areas. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another piece of the wax paper and I'm gonna lay it over the top. Again, you would use your tin foil. And now for this part, you can either use your pencil. Since I've been doing so many of these, I bought a little roller. You don't have to have the roller. You can just use the pencil. That's why I gave you the purple pencil. So you gently roll it on there. And even when you're doing this, you can kind of see that it's smoothing out a little bit. It does get a little bit wider. Try to keep your rolling as even as possible. And then you're gonna release it. So pull the tin foil off, flip it over, release it. Kind of check any areas and see, like take a look at it. You know, are there any parts that are popping apart? If there is, you know, push them back together and blend a little bit more. Okay. So if you need to, you can always add in a little extra clay, but it just kind of depends on how it looks when you're done with that first part. So once you've got that once, you know, and you've checked it, then you do the same thing again. So just put this back on. Now, if you can see like marks where it left some color on there, you can always flip it over to the other side. But you're just gonna do a little bit more rolling, and you're gonna continue this until it looks nice and even. So I did that side. I'm gonna release it again. So by releasing it, I'm just letting the clay not stick to it. It's kind of like when we're using the canvas in class and I have you flip your slab there too. So you're just gonna keep on rolling it until everything looks really nice and smooth. And once everything looks really nice and smooth, then you can pick it up as one piece. So now that everything's all stuck together, it's one slab of stuff. And now this you can use if you want to put it, you can create a little tin foil shape, and you can make a little bowl shape. If you have some glass, little bowls or something, you can, anything that's oven safe basically, you can use to make this into a shape. So like for these ones, I used a bowl, like a little glass bowl that was oven safe. And I just set my little slab in there and it curved the edges for me like that. Now you could leave this one, you could flatten out the edges and you could leave it. Or this one here, I just added on a little border. So I could add on another little border, and it's the same process. You just stick it up next to it, kind of blend it, roll it, and smooth it. So that's how you would do that one.